A 15-year-old girl from Georgia who is passionate for maths and neuroscience. She is selected in YYGS 2022 Yale Young Global Scholars Program with full financial aid. She is selected in Girls Who Code 2020 Summer Immersion Program. She is selected in Qubit Quantum Computer course by IBM Quantum. Her list of extracurriculars is quite long. She wants to change the world and bring revolution. She is soft-hearted. She is always ready for helping others. And the name of this girl is Nino Loladze from Georgia. So warmly welcome Nino. Okay, so first of all, we are starting from YYGS. So please explain what is the experience or how was the days in online YYGS program?
First of all, I will be very honest in this interview, and I'm gonna say that the hype of the online summer school is not the same as it's gonna be in the physical one, especially when you're applying to a physical, like live one. Because if I had the choice, I wouldn't send my applications last year if I knew it was gonna be online. Even though it was still a great experience, I'm sure since YYGS is coming back first time after pandemic in person, it's gonna be even better, and I'm sure there will be so many things which will be way better than I had experienced.
And you told me that you have attended the Girls Who Code program. What was the experience? What was your experience?
In Girls Who Code, I am saying that sometimes YYGS, one of the courses, made me think about computer science, and it did. I'm not gonna lie, it really did, and it really had an impact. But Girls Who Code was actually the program that was like, okay, I'm going to computer science. I believe I can do it. I believe I can be that powerful. I believe this is what I want. So for me, Girls Who Code was the best program I have ever taken without a doubt, because it changed my whole career life in over 2 weeks. And it was the most supportive program I have ever been to. And even though it was online, I have never been to such a good program online. It had no vibes of online program. It was so fun making a song playlist, interacting with each other, and it didn't have the Zoom feeling most of the classes have. So it was like the best experience ever, basically.
You mentioned that you have participated in neuroscience research or etc. So please explain what is that or what's the experience?
My mother is a neuroscientist, so it's kind of like what I always grew up with, and I always thought I was always gonna end up somewhere in the biology. And till this day, I still do some projects, especially hosted by my mother in neuroscience, because it's fun, but it's not something I can see in my life doing for a long time. And as for math, it's something I've always been passionate about, and I have always been ahead of my peers. I have always taken extracurriculars in math. And right now I'm choosing actual computer science and as a major in university and as a minor math. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about after bachelor, but I might even change my bachelor in the midway to math because I'm very passionate about it.
Okay, great. What's the experience? And I think you got a scholarship or financial aid of 97.2% in YYGS.
So basically, YYGS has two main options for financing your experience. First one is scholarships, and I actually don't recommend applying for scholarships, especially technically there's only one for the most of the people. So I'm not advising any of you to apply to the scholarship, but they also have a financial aid, which in my case covered up to almost everything. I think only was like left $2,000 or even less than that. It covers to almost 100%. They just don't want to call it a scholarship. It can even, I know people who have left only $100. They just don't want to finance it 100% and they leave a very minimum amount. And it's not a hard thing if your family is need-based, which means if you really need it and you come from like a poor country or a little poor family, especially compared to the USA, which is most of the international students, I just advise you to have a very strong financial aid letter, if I'm not mistaken, it's what it's called. It's basically describing your situation, and please describe it in every single detail you know and help make your parents help you because if you have a very good letter with many details, it is very easy to get it.
Or some of students thinking that applying for financial aid, it decreases your chances of accepting in YYGS because they are unaware from that financial aid is need blind, not need aware. So what is the difference between need blind or need aware?
YYGS has the policy of, so when one is applying to the YYGS, they have basically two sections, two people, two main offices checking your application. One is about the admissions, so your letter of recommendation, everything required, and one of them is financial aid, and it is an independent decision. So your financial aid application has nowhere to interfere with your application, and your application has nowhere to interfere with the financial aid. It's a very need-based. It's not a merit-based, unfortunately. If any of you wanted a merit-based, I'm sorry, they only offer need-based. And I know people who got declined of financial aid but still got accepted to YYGS. And if any of you are thinking that when you apply and you get declined of financial aid, it was unfair, I really advise to communicate with the financial aid staff, because I know people who get accepted, got declined of financial aid, emailed the YYGS, and they could still aid the finance. So I'm advising to have all the communication if you really need it.
Like what are the tips or tips and tricks for essay? Because some students think that the most important thing for YYGS is essays, because sometimes if you have a low GPA around 80%, but if you are a good writer or if you have a best essay, then it will increase your chances. So it's true that the most important thing is essays in YYGS.
So first of all, I'm gonna say that YYGS has two essays. One is a main essay and one is kind of called short essay or something like that. And they also have many little questions, and many of the applicants don't put a lot of effort in the little questions, and I advise you to try to do your best in those questions as well, and try to show your personal side, because I personalized my optional questions very much. It was so personal. And for essay, I recommend starting it early and revising it. Also, make some of your friends or a close relative or someone read it and see what impression they get. It's so helpful. And see what tone you have in there. What others think about your essay. Is it something you want to be in there or not? And also, I personally got my essay checked out by one of the YYGS alumni. So if any of you want to contact me, I can even check their essays. It won't be a problem for me.
Okay. So how can you contact them? How was the experience like? On what platform?
So YYGS has this ambassador program in which alumni deliver a presentation, and I attended to one of those presentations at my schools, and I actually contacted them. But there are many ways you can contact YYGS alumni. You will find some of them in the YYGS Instagram. Will definitely
LinkedIn also. Yeah, LinkedIn, Instagram. There are many ways, and I think you are the best student in your school, and you got some certificates, also prizes in your school. So what is the experience like? If you want to select, if you want to get into some prestigious summer programs, you must be a best student of school, or just follow your passion. Like there are some average students, they are approx average in school or just participating in average competitions, but they are not the top most students in school. So it's possible.
So how you are in school doesn't define you as a person or as an applicant there. It's about the passions and extracurriculars you have. And I always suggest researching the extracurriculars and always finding them in your passion, and don't send applications to some of the places because it's just prestigious when you don't like the course. And also in YYGS and in some other courses, recommendation letter is so important. If you have a good recommendation letter, it's a very useful thing.
Yeah, great. So that means you must be a real person, or try to show your real passion or what you want to be in future, rather than just faking something. Like there are many students who tries to only participating in some competitions or participating any activities just only to increase their extracurricular list or just increase the chances of getting.
First of all, I'm gonna comment that when many people think that if you have a big list of extracurricular activities, you're gonna have a higher chances in the university, and it's not a lie. But you should have an extracurricular activities related to your field of study. You can't just go to STEM and have all of the extracurricular activities about designs and lectures and philosophy. And that is what's one of the greatest thing about YYGS, that they offer like 4 main programs, which is spread out in every single one of them.
You also love art since 5 years, like you mentioned in your bio or the website of
Yes.
YYGS.
This is one of the great examples why you should never do something that you don't like, because I have done art since I was 5, and probably by the age of 10, I knew it was something I would never ever do in my life. It would not be useful, but I still continued and quit last year, kinda. And I just wasted 10 years of my life. And even though I have won some competitions, it was very stressful and I didn't get any good extracurricular activities out of it. So don't waste your time doing something you don't like. That's my advice.
Okay, great. So and I also have some information, like you are since you are a child, you continuously participating in math competitions. So it's true that math competitions helps you.
I have not been in a math competition in a very long time. Probably like 5 years ago was the last time. But as a
Okay.
person and as someone who loves math, it really helped me. Even though it's not gonna be useful in my extracurricular activities next year for my college application, it is something that grew me as a person and grew my intellect. So don't be afraid to do something if you think it's not gonna be useful for the application, because I did something that is gonna be useful for my application, but I just wasted my time. But I did something that's not useful for my application, but it grew me and it made me become the person I am today.
Yeah, totally understandable, totally. And what's about International Sleep Training Summer School? I think you remember about that.
International, which one? I know.
Sleep training summer school. I thought you mentioned it.
Sleep time. I did it twice actually. Once I was very little and it was my mother's. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes your parents can help in that. And once it was my mother's friends. But I participated in it as a volunteer and also as a listener, and I learned a lot. And I actually learned that biology is not something made for me, even though I got a great experience and it was one of the best things I have ever done in my life, especially over the summer, because it was only course done in line. Still, you kind of learn something that not all the courses can be about your interests. It can be exploring your interests or meeting people, because after pandemic, sometimes even meeting people in life is very important.
Qubit quantum computer course, which is conducted by IBM Quantum. So what about that?
I actually started that course and I actually have homework to doing that course even now. Probably should be doing it, but I always do it on Saturdays. And it's a 1-year course. Some people can choose only one semester, and some people can choose 1 year and drop out of the second semester. It's very flexible. Or some people choose the first semester and add the second semester. Very flexible course. And I actually got in that course in a most random way, and I put the least effort into getting that because my country, the whole country, is partnered with that IBM Quantum, and just one of my teachers shared the information on the social media, and I just view it, and it had a way easier application because the country is partnered with them. But I would say it's one of the best courses I have ever taken, because it's finally the time I discovered my passions, and finally I'm doing something that I really enjoy, and it has like both aspects of hands-on activities and theory activities. You learn both theory, coding, building, and every single of them. And it's a very useful thing for the ones that want to do a computer science, because it even offers a credit, and some schools even give you a credit in that, and you can have it as a credited course. And also, if you don't, they give a certificate, you can upload that. And also, it's for someone who wants to be in the field of computer science. It's like very useful thing, kind of like an introductory thing. I would advise to everyone who wants to be in STEM to apply to that program. It's just so like great, one of the best courses I have ever taken, especially the fact that it's 1 year is such a crazy thing, because not many programs are 1 year.
Okay, great. So how can we participate or register for Qubit quantum computer course? Like they have a website, or they have some rigorous selection process. So what is the process of selection?
First of all, I would advise to go to their website and email them if your country or your school or anything you are into can be partnered with their program, because they have some countries, like the whole country, like mine, partnered with them. And if it's the case, it's the easiest application ever. And then you have an intermediate person between two, or like you and the Qubit by Qubit, who is very helpful. And I'm not very sure about what to do if you don't have a partnered school or the whole country, but they have an application online, and I'm sure it's not that hard. But about the financial aid and price, I'm not sure. I don't have information about that, because the partnered schools and countries offer the full tuition. So I'm actually participating for free.
Okay, great. What experience. And I have a personal question. What is the Vazdia? I think Vazdia, my friend, last year going to Georgia, and he said about Vazdia, which is the heaven of Georgia, and it have a big cave monastery. So what's about that? I also want to visit them. So it's a good place.
What place did you mention? Can you repeat it?
Yeah, it's an, I think, city, Vazdia.
Yes, it's a very, very beautiful place.
Yeah.
But I would say, as a Georgian person, many of the Georgians are gonna hate me for it, but it's kind of like an overrated place for me, because there's so many other beautiful places, especially near Vardia, people can visit. I'm just not the biggest fan of Vardia, but it's very, very pretty, and I suggest everybody to go there.
Yeah.
But if anybody is going there, go early, because it's so hot there, you're gonna die from hotness. It's so hot, especially in summer, and especially in caves, and there's so many walking that has to be done.
Okay, thank you for suggestion. I will go with proper planning or proper thing. And I think the whole Georgia is a beautiful place, and I love Georgia. There are many places for visit. So thank you. And what's about your future plans, like starting application process for or trying to get into top universities, and you have a roadmap for your future like that?
So I'm a junior in 11th grade. So next summer, 2023 summer, I'm planning to apply to 2 summer programs, maybe even third one. I'm not sure, because I haven't checked the third one thoroughly.
Yeah.
And also for my university goals, it's computer science, and to be more specific, I want to do computer science and artificial intelligence, but as a one major. But since not many schools and universities offer it, I might do applied computer science, because I don't want to double major in computer science and artificial intelligence.
Exactly.
And I'm definitely going to Europe if I don't have a very good offer to USA, because my heart is set on Europe.
Yeah, it's real. Okay, so what's about like I think you don't prepare for SAT. So what's about SAT? I think you're
I'm
not
kind of preparing for it, but I'm kind of thinking of dropping out, because almost no university in Europe requires SAT, and it takes so much of my time, and it's so mentally and physically exhausting. I don't think it would be worth it, and the only ones that offer it I don't know, get a better university, because every single one of them I have seen that needs an SAT either has a very, very nice substitution for it, such as their own test, which is, I think some universities even offer way easier test than SAT, and some universities that don't. Just get a better university, because that's not the best universities in Europe, because what I have seen SAT requirements in Europe, it's such a few universities, and either they have a better alternative for it, or they're better schools with the price tag and with like everything.
Yeah, that's the biggest reason. Yeah, that is the main reason. Okay, so I think I have more questions. What's about your schooling? Like, there are many students who just focusing on building some extracurriculars, or there are other type of students. They are just enjoying high school. So, which one type of student you are? Just focusing on your career or opportunities, or just doing everything with enjoyment, like enjoying science or neuroscience with
I
your
have
studies?
combined those two, and I'm actually doing extracurricular things that I enjoy. And I'm not gonna lie, right now my extracurricular activities are the ones that if I didn't have them right now in my life, I would probably be dead from the stress, because it's just something that makes my stress go away. And I have chosen my extracurricular activities in a way that it calms me down. It just gives my mind a place to work and just calm down. So when you're a junior, it's one of the toughest years ever in your high school, and I really advise, and even in the other years, get your extracurricular activities, the ones that you enjoy, you want, and you know you need them in your future. Because I also need one of my extracurricular activities, even if I didn't want it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's great and totally understandable. Or yeah, exactly. Okay, that's great. And any summer program, like you know about it or researching about that, like we are just discussing about YYGS or girls who code, or the other course which is Qubit. But there are many summer programs like TAS or Telluride Association summer program, or Anson and Clerk. So you know about any one of them and have a knowledge
Yes.
about them.
Oh, actually, I'm gonna name. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I'm gonna name two of the summer schools I'm thinking about applying. The first one, which is not the most famous, is called Math Illy. If I'm not pronouncing it wrong, I'm sorry if I am, ma'am. But it's about math. It's almost a month long, so it's an
Yeah,
intensive one, and it's
yeah,
in live, not online. So for everybody who loves math, get your hypes up, check it out, because it's a great program. They haven't announced their applications yet, and I'm sure they will soon. And the best thing about it is that they offer two main programs, Mathily and Math Air or something, forgot the name. But you send the application, one application, and based on your knowledge, they decide which course suits you better. So you're kind of applying to both of them, and they chose the best one for you. And what they have the best about the people who needed financial aid is that first you send the application, and if you are accepted, you send the financial aid afterwards. They don't have it combined like YYGS does.
yeah. I think it's a benefit or plus point, I think.
Sir, I was asking to Nino, if someone's GPA is less than the average, how much the chances are there to get into the prestigious summer program? How much the chances are there?
Yeah, most important question, I thought.
So prestigious summer schools require school transcript, and they don't do it by the GPA. They also look at the progress you have, because if you're like a sophomore or 10th grader, you will need both 9th grade and 10th grade till the point you are right now, and they also look at your progress. So if you had a very bad grade last year but you're improving, I'm saying your chances are very high. But at the same time, for YYGS, because they have like year by year, if your grades were very high last year and your grades have dropped drastically this year, you might have less chances than the first person. So it also depends on the progress you have made.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know some summer programs which is easier to get into?
also called Math ELE, is probably the easiest summer school to get in my
Yeah.
Okay, I will take no more of your time, Nino. I will take no more of your time. Uh, can you say something about our ISP association? Something?
I think what you're doing right now is one of the best things ever, because especially in the junior year, your 11th grade, it's very stressful year. You are searching for
Yeah.
universities and you're like, I want to do some summer school, and it's not that easy to get information about summer schools, and it needs a
Yes.
lot of digging, and also for international students, it's even like harder. And I think you have a very like good thing you're doing is can impact the world in the best way ever, and I think it's one of the best initiatives people can ever come up with.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you, thank you.
yeah, and I think there are many opportunities, but most of the students, high school students, unaware of them, and they are just focusing on same thing. Like if you have a friend participating in YYGS, so they're just applying in YYGS or many other some programs. But if you have a deep knowledge or any person who guide you about other programs, then I think it also increase your chances of getting, because applying only one summer program is little bit risky, because the chances of getting into I think it's not confirmed. So if we applying 3 or 4 summer programs, so I think it increases the success rate. So
Yes, it increases your chances, especially like I'm gonna say that in university applications, most of the schools look at the summer programs very seriously. And like, I mean, obviously, if you have a YYGS or Stanford one, it's for the name basically, but also the other summer programs. And the summer programs I have, like, also call this really directly to what I want in my life.
so what's about like any guidance or anything you want to say to international students? There are many students after this interview, they are watching, and mostly they are Indians. So any advice for them?
Don't give up, don't get your hopes down, because I was rejected from one of the summer schools which had the highest acceptance rate, which was in my country and which was probably the easiest to get in, but I got into YYGS. So don't get your hopes down if you got rejected from something. It's not a big deal, you might have something better waiting for you. And also, I'm gonna advise women to empower themselves, and you're great, because I have always been discriminated my whole life for being a woman in STEM. And just don't listen to others and do your job and do your thing, and you can change the world.
Yeah, easily. I think you deserve more. So God have the plans for everyone, and I think the rejection are also the part of journey, and you can change the world. I definitely say that you will definitely change the world, and you are on the way. So thank you for that.